July 2nd, 1937. A small aircraft flew across the Pacific Ocean. Inside was one of the most famous women in the world. A pilot, an adventurer, a record breaker. Her name was Amelia Earhart. She was attempting something no woman had ever achieved before: to fly around the world. The journey had already covered thousands of miles. Most of the trip was complete. Only a few stages remained. The world followed her progress closely. Newspapers reported every milestone. Crowds gathered wherever she landed. She had become a global celebrity. But nobody knew that this flight would become one of the greatest mysteries in aviation history. Amelia Earhart was born in Kansas in 1897. From an early age, she loved adventure. She climbed trees. She explored the outdoors. She refused to follow the expectations placed on women at the time. Then she discovered aviation. The moment she saw an airplane, everything changed. She knew she wanted to fly. Years later, she became one of the world's most famous pilots. She broke records, she inspired millions, and she proved that women could achieve what many believed was impossible. By 1937, Amelia was preparing for her greatest challenge: a flight around the world. The route would cover nearly 29,000 miles. It would take her across continents and oceans. It would be one of the most ambitious flights ever attempted. Her aircraft was a Lockheed Electra, a twin-engine airplane specially prepared for the journey. Beside her was navigator Fred Noonan, an experienced expert in long-distance navigation. Together, they believed they could complete the impossible. As they approached the final stages of the journey, only one major challenge remained: the vast Pacific Ocean. And somewhere within that endless expanse, Amelia Earhart would disappear forever. By the summer of 1937, Amelia Earhart had already completed most of her journey around the world. Thousands of miles were behind her. Only a few dangerous stages remained. The most difficult would be crossing the Pacific Ocean. On July 2nd, Amelia and Fred Noonan departed from Lae, New Guinea. Their destination was Howland Island, a tiny island in the middle of the Pacific. The island was so small that finding it would be like locating a single grain of sand in a vast ocean. Success depended entirely on accurate navigation. The flight began normally. Weather conditions appeared acceptable. The aircraft climbed into the sky and headed east. Hours passed. The Pacific stretched endlessly below. Inside the cockpit, Amelia and Fred monitored fuel levels and navigation data. Everything depended on reaching Howland Island before fuel ran low. Meanwhile, the United States Coast Guard cutter Itasca waited near the island. Its crew was prepared to guide Amelia to safety. Radio operators listened carefully. Everyone expected routine communication. Then strange problems began to appear. Amelia reported difficulty hearing radio transmissions. Communication became inconsistent. Messages were broken, weak, sometimes impossible to understand. As the aircraft moved closer to its destination, the situation became increasingly serious. The crew aboard Itasca attempted to contact Amelia repeatedly, but the signals remained unclear. The aircraft seemed close, yet nobody could determine its exact location. The Pacific Ocean offered no landmarks, no roads, no lights, only endless water in every direction. For Amelia Earhart, the margin for error was rapidly disappearing. And somewhere above the Pacific, one of history's most famous flights was beginning to go terribly wrong. As the hours passed, concern aboard the Itasca continued to grow. The aircraft should have been approaching Howland Island, yet nobody could see it. Radio operators listened carefully. Then another transmission arrived. This message would become one of the most famous in aviation history. Amelia reported that she believed she was close to the island. But there was a problem. She could not see it. The Pacific Ocean stretched endlessly below. No landmarks, no clear reference points, only water. Then another message arrived. The signal sounded urgent. Amelia stated that they were running on a navigation line. She believed they were near Howland Island, but she could not locate it. The crew aboard the Itasca searched the horizon. They released smoke to make the ship easier to spot. Radio operators continued transmitting. Still nothing. Then came the final known transmission. "We are on the line 157337. We will repeat this message." Those were among the last words ever heard from Amelia Earhart. After that silence, no further radio messages, no distress signal, no emergency call, nothing. The aircraft had vanished. At first, authorities hoped radio equipment had failed. Perhaps Amelia had landed safely on an island. Perhaps communication systems had malfunctioned. But as hours turned into days, hope slowly began to fade. The world's most famous pilot had disappeared, and nobody knew where. News spread rapidly across the globe. Newspapers printed headlines. Radio stations interrupted broadcasts. Millions followed the story. The disappearance instantly became international news. Yet nobody could explain how a modern aircraft carrying two experienced aviators could simply vanish without a trace. The mystery had only begun. The disappearance of Amelia Earhart triggered an enormous response. Almost immediately, search operations began across the Pacific Ocean. The United States government mobilized ships, aircraft, personnel, resources. At the time, it became one of the most expensive search efforts in history. Navy vessels sailed across vast stretches of ocean. Military aircraft flew thousands of miles. Pilots scanned the water below for any sign of wreckage, any sign of life, any clue. But day after day, nothing was found. No aircraft, no lifeboat, no survivors. The search area was enormous. Millions of square miles of open ocean. Investigators faced a nearly impossible challenge. Where exactly should they look? Without a confirmed location. Every search became a guess. Weeks passed. Hope slowly began to disappear. Yet reports continued to emerge. Some claimed to hear radio signals from Amelia's aircraft. Others reported strange messages. Several people insisted they had intercepted distress calls. The reports came from different locations, different countries, different times. Investigators attempted to verify the claims. Some seemed possible, others appeared unreliable. To this day, experts still debate whether any of those signals were genuine. If they were real, it would suggest that Amelia survived for some time after the disappearance. But if they were false, the mystery remained exactly where it began. Lost somewhere in the Pacific Ocean. As public interest grew, theories began to emerge. People wanted answers, and when answers failed to appear, speculation quickly filled the gap. Some believed Amelia crashed into the ocean. Others believed she landed somewhere far from her intended destination. The mystery was evolving into a legend, and the world remained desperate to know what happened. As years passed, investigators failed to find definitive answers. The lack of evidence created the perfect environment for theories, and soon, theories about Amelia Earhart's fate spread around the world. The most widely accepted theory is the simplest. Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan became lost. Unable to locate Howland Island, they eventually ran out of fuel. The aircraft crashed into the Pacific Ocean. According to many experts, this remains the most likely explanation. The Pacific is enormous. If the aircraft entered the water far from the search area, it may never be found, but not everyone agrees. Another theory focuses on a remote island called Nikumaroro. Located hundreds of miles from Howland Island, the island has attracted investigators for decades. Supporters believe Amelia may have successfully landed there. Perhaps she and Fred survived the flight. Perhaps they lived for days or even weeks before dying on the isolated island. Several discoveries fueled the theory: old photographs, unusual artifacts, reports of human remains, pieces of metal. Some researchers believe these clues point directly to Amelia Earhart. Others argue the evidence is far too weak. No discovery has ever provided definitive proof. Yet the theory refuses to disappear. Then came one of the most controversial explanations. Some claimed Amelia never crashed at all. According to this theory, she landed in territory controlled by Japan. The world in 1937 was becoming increasingly unstable. Tensions were rising across the Pacific. Supporters of the theory argue that Amelia and Fred were captured by Japanese forces. Some even claimed they were held as prisoners. Stories emerged, witnesses came forward, books were written, documentaries were produced. Yet investigators repeatedly failed to find convincing evidence. Most historians remain skeptical. Still, the story continues to fascinate people around the world. As decades passed, even more theories appeared. Secret missions, government cover-ups, hidden identities. Some claimed Amelia survived and returned under a different name. Others believed powerful governments concealed the truth. But despite countless theories, one fact remained unchanged. Nobody knew what really happened, and every unanswered question only made the mystery more famous. More than 80 years have passed since Amelia Earhart disappeared. Yet the mystery remains unsolved. Over the decades, new technology has given investigators hope. Advanced sonar systems, deep-sea exploration equipment, satellite analysis, digital image processing, tools that did not exist in 1937. Several modern expeditions have searched the Pacific Ocean. Researchers have examined underwater anomalies. Investigators have revisited old evidence. Some discoveries generated excitement, but none provided a definitive answer. In recent years, interest in the Nikumaroro theory continued to grow. Researchers returned to the island. They searched for new evidence, fragments of metal, old tools, possible human remains. Each discovery sparked headlines around the world. Could this finally be the breakthrough? Could the mystery be solved? Unfortunately, every promising lead eventually faced the same problem: lack of proof. No aircraft has ever been conclusively identified. No confirmed remains of Amelia Earhart have been found. And no piece of evidence has answered the central question: what happened on July 2, 1937? Today, Amelia Earhart remains far more than a missing pilot. She became a symbol of courage, determination, adventure. Her achievements transformed aviation history. Her disappearance transformed her into a legend. The mystery continues to inspire books, documentaries, podcasts, and investigations. Each generation searches for answers. Each generation develops new theories. Yet the truth remains hidden somewhere beyond the horizon. Perhaps the aircraft rests deep beneath the Pacific Ocean. Perhaps evidence still waits to be discovered on a remote island. Or perhaps the complete story was lost forever on the day Amelia Earhart vanished. One thing is certain. The world has never stopped searching, and until definitive evidence is found, the mystery will continue. A famous pilot departed on a historic journey. She came closer than almost anyone believed possible. Then she disappeared, without a trace, without an explanation, leaving behind one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in aviation history. What do you think happened to Amelia Earhart? Did she crash into the Pacific Ocean? Did she reach a remote island? Or is there another explanation entirely? Let us know your theory in the comments, and subscribe for more unsolved mysteries and true crime documentaries.